itaranto. Hariho umutware yaratunze cyane afite n'abagaragu, kera kabaye agira uruzinduko mu kindi gihugu, ahamagara abagaragu be maze abasigira ubutunzi bwe. Umwamuhe itarane eshanu, undi amuhe ebyiri, undi amuhe itarane imwe itagirira kabiri, maze umutware arazinduka. Maze babagaragu batangira gukoresha za carano nk'uko shebuja yazibasigiye. Uwahawe shana aragenda arazigenza, agenzura amesha hano. Uwahawe ebyiri nawe abigenza atyo, agenzura ebyiri. Maze wa wundi wahawe imwe aragenda acukura icobo, ayishamo ya tarano, aratinyuka arayitabaye. Nuko imitsi irahitindira ataha, maze shebuja mu kuzindukuruka abarana nabo ibyo yabasigiye. Uwahawe shana araseruka ati databuja mwiza, wansigiye shanu uzungutse izindi eshanu. Uwahawe ebyiri nawe araseruka ati databuja mwiza, wansigiye ebyiri zungutse izindi ebyiri. Shebuja ati bagaragu banje beza, nuko kuko mwakiranutse muri bike, nico gitumye mbekurira byinshi. Ico nimuze mwinjire mu munezero wa shobuja. Maze wa wundi wahawe itarane imwe itagiriye kabiri, adatera hejuru azayivovota cane ati databuja narinzi kuri umunyamwaga, usarura utabibye na munagane. Itaranto narayitavye mu butaka, dore ngiyo ufata ibyawe. Maze shebuja aramusubiza ati mbe mugaragu mubi, niko wamunyabutewe, ese ni wari ukwiye kuyiha abagenza, maze nkasanga inyungu yayo. Nuko shebuja arayimwambura, ayigabira wa wundi wungutse itarane 10, igiye mu zindi agira 11. Kuko ufite wese azongererwa, ariko udafite azanyagwa n'utwo yari afite. Maze wa mugaragu mubi baramuboha, bamujugunya mu mwijima hanze, azize ubupfapfa. Mbega agahinda we. Itaranto yawe yikoreshe neza, igira umumaro mu gihe gikwiye. Itaranto yawe yikoreshe neza, igira umumaro mu gihe gikwiye. Mbese gufasha abakene, gusura abarwayi, bikorwa by'urukundo, gushigikirana, imirimo myiza igihe twahawe aya mafaranga nizo taranto twasigiwe ngo zigire umumaro igihe tukiriho. Itaranto yawe iyikoreshe neza igira umumaro mu gihe gikwiye. Itaranto yawe iyikoreshe neza igira umumaro mu gihe gikwiye.
I want you to share with us from your experiences. You've been going quite a lot, traveling around the world and seeing these things in different, countries. What would you share with us today that we can pick from your experiences where you've been going that we can do down here at home and make it better in Africa, and which Abdul can pick, lessons from to go back and continue to impact the lives of people in these communities? Yes.
Yeah, I think when we as we said at the beginning, like we are, as a community of citizens, we always like to be inspired.
Yeah.
And graffiti normally is about inspiration.
Yes.
You might say a piece of mask, a piece of, but for example, for me, when I see most of the graffiti work, much of this work is conceptual, it's abstract. People don't understand it. Yeah. But if we could start from the area where people understand, like for some of our icons, just imagine in Kawempe you have a beautiful graffiti wall of Geoffrey Oyema, of Philip Bongole Utaya, of Paul Kafero, of Fred Sebata. All these, like, Peterson.
I think he has one already there of
Peterson. But then, of course, great piece. Great piece. But then
it's a recent thing. We need something.
So we're looking at like how can we also start presenting work that is going to inspire our people, people that people need to remember. Like Peterson Mutebi, like Misusela Segamwenge, all these people, the Byron Kawadwas. There are so many Ugandans that are very, very people are attached to. Just for example, like if GNL is emotionally attached to his graffiti wall mural, and then what is he going to do? He'll push it. He'll push his wall. So if Cliff Mutebi comes and sees his father's mural of Peterson Mutebi on the wall, he'll push it because he finds it that inspiration. And that's meaning that you're growing your community. You're not just skilling them with hands-on, but you're also empowering them to feel proud of who they are and who are their parents or their ancestors are. So I think we need to start looking at how do we celebrate our own? How do we celebrate? I like the Rwandan piece. And I know, because when he was explaining the love of the city, I know there has been conflict and tension between Rwanda and Uganda. It speaks volumes. But at the same time, it is detaching from the Ugandans. They're like, how do we cultivate our own people, to appreciate their own history. When you look at bigger cities, they always find those people that are very related or connecting to them.
Yeah.
The conceptualization is also about, because there's someone saying that, no, I need to speak my mind, but you also need to connect to the community.
Thank you.
How does the community relate to this kind of work? This mural, which is at Alliancia, was done by a German team. But you find the way they were trying to create, in its abstract, they also try to bring in the Ugandan aspect of it by having the crane in as part of the concept. So how do we connect our work to cultivate the love and the appreciation of our own communities, and also try to grow, make it as much better and much, sophisticated in a way that it shows the maturity of your work, So for me, this is what I'd like to say, that scaling is not only about giving people hands-on skills, but it's also cultivating their minds, inspiring them, making sure that you are exposing them, you're kind of challenging them to think differently, to attract a different mindset.
mbakumbuze igitaramo cy'iwacu iwacu turatarama ngwino urare iwacu turatarama ngwino urare iyo dukoze ku nyamirya iz'ubuhuha n'inkomangano biratwizihira cyane. Mpamagare Muhigirwa ni Nyaruguru mu muhamirizo w'intore, mu muhamirizo w'intore. Sebaganji babukwege aseruke mu byivugo byiza. Mpamagare Sebatunzi ayihere mu miyuki akubwira intahana batatu ya Rutamukinyange cyarutiruka mu bakemba, mu bakemba. Tugutaramire kandi uzagaruka iwacu turatarama ngwino urare tugutaramire kandi uzagaruka turatarama ngwino urare biso tolinga kobina ebana biso tolinga kosepela ka elongo tolinga tosepela tosangisa pe tolingana
tugusogogeze ku ntango y'amahoro nkwibutsa umugani wa nyashya na baba inkuru ya saruhara rwa nkomokomo cacana ndetse na ngunda
tugutaramiye kanuzagaruka ari wacu turatarama ngwirurare
aho dutaramiye nta rungu
tugutaramiye kanuzagaruka
turataramiye ijoro tukarita hanze cyambere wampaye inka cyuringanje reka ntugatsikire cyuringanje nuko umuco wacu ntugacindishe
La maison des profs des Français,
c'est l'Alliance française.
Une fille m'a posé une question, pourquoi prendre le français alors que je lui parlais de la radio Bonjour Kampala. Oh, venez, 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 venez.
Venez apprendre les français.
Je vous invite à venir.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Viens mon frère,
Venez
viens ma sœur, à l'Alliance française.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Venez, venez,
Venez apprendre les français. Venez à l'Alliance française. Venez à l'Alliance française.
Je vous invite à venir.
Venez apprendre le français.
Oh, oh, oh.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Le français est langue étrangère la plus largement apprise après l'anglais. Le français est langue étrangère la plus largement apprise
Après l'anglais,
La connaissance du français ouvre des portes des entreprises en France.
comme à l'étranger.
La connaissance du français ouvre des portes des entreprises en France.
Comme à l'étranger.
Le français est la langue de la culture.
La langue internationale pour la cuisine.
La mode, les théâtres, les habituels, la danse et
L'architecture.
le français est la langue de la culture. La langue internationale pour la cuisine. La mode, les théâtres, les habituels,
La danse et l'architecture.
Oh, oh,
Oh, I love France.
oh, oh,
Oh, I speak French.
oh, oh,
Oh, I love France.
oh,
Oh, I speak French.
I love French.
Oh,
I love
I
French.
love French.
I speak French.
Oh,
I speak
I
French.
speak French.
I love French.
Oh,
I love
I
French.
love French.
I speak French.
Oh,
I speak
I
French.
speak French.
Oh,
Oh, I love French.
oh,
Oh, I speak French. Venez apprendre le français. Venez à l'Alliance française.
venez, venez,
Venez apprendre le français.
venez, venez,
Venez à l'Alliance française.
venez à Kamocha.
Venez apprendre le français.
Blood Sekande.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Venez dans la grande famille. Venez, oh,
Apprendre le
oh, oh.
français.
Venez mes amis.
Venez à l'Alliance française. Bien Molière, c'est l'idiot n'a pas pris. En passant par Ayana Kamura. Pourquoi tu penses que les Français tirent la internationale?
Que tu sois fondé autour du four du plaisir. Dis-moi le mot d'Arana est là.
En pleine évolution.
Venez,
Venez apprendre les Français.
mes amis, venez.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
La langue française,
Venez
la langue de
apprendre les
paix,
Français.
la langue de la courtoisie,
Venez à l'Alliance française.
la langue française, la langue de la
Apprendre les
courtoisie,
Français.
la langue de paix.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Venez dans la grande famille, venez à l'Alliance française, venez apprendre le français.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Je vous invite à venir, venez mes
Apprendre
amis,
les Français.
venez, venez, venez,
Venez à l'Alliance
venez,
française.
venez. Tout le monde parle français,
Parlez français.
parle français,
Parlez français.
everybody parle français.
Parlez
parler français.
Everybody, Bina Moke, Bina Moke, Bina Moke,
Bina Moke,
everybody, Bina Moke,
Bina Moke,
Bina à gauche,
Bina à gauche,
Bina à droite,
Bina à droite,
Bina devant,
Bina devant,
Bina derrière,
Bina derrière,
Bina devant.
Bina devant.
Parlez français,
Parler français,
parlez français,
parler français.
parlez français. Venez, venez,
Venez à parler français. Venez à l'alliance française.
je vous invite à venir. Venez à parler français. À Kamochao,
Venez à l'alliance française.
à Bukoto Street,
Venez
Claude
à parler
Saint-André.
français.
Venez, venez, venez.
Venez à l'alliance française.
Si tu veux parler français,
Venez
viens à
à
l'Alliance.
parler français.
Si tu veux parler,
Venez à l'alliance française.
si tu veux entrer dans la
Venez
famille, viens,
à
viens,
parler
viens.
français.
Viens, 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 viens.
Venez à l'alliance française.
Young people at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
You see, I think there's been a lot of growth and transformation. I appreciate the work National IT Authority is doing, and also, of course, they come up with policies that people are supposed to comply with. You know, when it comes to with cybersecurity, like I said, we have a layer of compliance and governance, whereby government will come up with policies and say, okay, we need you, each and every person should have at least a basic thing, which is antivirus on their devices. Because at the national level, they have what we call cyber threat intelligence, whereby I think UCC has a solution. Because I remember I was involved in that tender for procurement of a cyber threat intelligence solution, whereby we could be able to identify this is a new attack, it's coming from Russia, it's attacking our bank here, then they could be able to block that traffic at a national level. Well, the government is doing something. But then also, as individuals, like I said, we need to also be vigilant. Because the government will not be able to understand which new VPN client has come up, or which new VPN solution has come up, probably because they will not know. But for you, go ahead and download it and install it on your device. And then you try transacting. You actually go to, then you say, oh, I've stolen money from my account. Oh, my information was stolen. Oh, I see nudes on social media. People steal nudes from people's devices, and actually they ask for a pay. Someone says, if you don't give me $100,000, I'm going to publish your nonsense on the cyberspace. You know, so people need to be vigilant. But of course, the government is also doing something.
COVID-19 has tested our hope and faith as individuals, families, and the country at large. Besides destroying many aspects of our lives, the novel coronavirus has also affected our human rights in many ways. You and the Law, the COVID edition, is a 30-minute weekly television program that focuses on the impact of COVID-19 on human rights in Uganda. The program engages experts to explain the importance of rights-based approaches to the success of any public health response to ensure the respect, protection, and fulfillment of human rights amidst the challenges presented by COVID-19. You and the Law, the television program, brought to you by Legal Hub Uganda, taking the law to the last mile in proud association with I4C Africa Hub and House of Talent Television.
In countries like Finland, they designed a program for 5 years to do serious food literacy. If you went to Finland today, no restaurant will serve you supper past 7 p.m. No restaurant. Here in Uganda, you can eat at midnight. 2 p.m. You go back home and sleep. You see,
and wake up to have breakfast at 8. Hello viewers, welcome to yet another episode of You and the Law, the COVID edition. My name is Jonathan Ochom, your host. As you all know, You and the Law is a 30-minute weekly television program that focuses on the relationship between human beings, Ugandans, yourselves, and the law in Uganda. As you know, the law affects every aspect of our lives, whether it's about food, whether it's about traffic, education, everything that we do rotates around the law. In this edition, we are discussing the impacts of COVID-19 on human rights. And specifically for today, we'll be discussing how COVID-19 has affected the right to food. Do you know your right to food? When was the last time you ate? But what does a right actually mean? To help us unpack this complex area, we have a seasoned lawyer, Mr. David Kabanda from the Center for Food and Adequate Living Rights. David, you're welcome to You and the Law.
Thank you so much.
How have you been?
I'm fine. How have you been?
Great. You know, COVID-19 has sort of come and disorganized our normal lives. I wonder how you've been coping up as a professional, as a family man? How has it been?
Well, it is difficult to everyone, as individuals and also families and communities. We find ourselves in those unprecedented times. There is no community cohesion as it used to be. So I personally, I find myself in challenging times, but of course, we soldier on.
Okay. I'm interested, when we're introducing your organization, the name is a bit of a mouthful. Yeah. Maybe could you just help us understand, why you came up with this organization? What do you actually do, and how I can benefit as an ordinary person from the work that you do?
So this is the Center for Food and Adequate Living Rights, and it is looking at having a one-stop center for law and adequate living. But you see, adequate living starts with food. This is what many people do not understand.
Yeah.
The moment someone wakes up, the first thing to think about is breakfast, then lunch, then supper, then in the middle you need water, you need a snack, you need fruit. So the entire life of a human being rotates around food. And being lawyers who do social justice, we started this organization to be able to contribute to unpacking, articulation, and also giving legal services to people for the realization of their right to food, but also adequate living. Because you cannot talk about food and you disassociate it from economic rights or trade. So the two work together, and this is why now we have this organization, the Center for Food and Adequate Living Rights.
Oh, okay.
CEFROT.
CEFROT.
Yeah,
I mean, the name is really... yeah.
So the acronym is CEFROT.
CEFROT. Okay. Maybe that's fair.
Yeah.
So David, you're talking about adequate living rights. You're talking about the right to food. But what is the idea, behind this right? If we, as a concept, like what does a right to food actually mean? Before we start discussing the legalese and everything.